And I'm here for a daily dose of hope. And I think we're at day 133. Yes, 133. So, a daily dose of hope is just that. I'm coming on, I was guided to come on to give a daily dose of hope because the energies on our planet are starting to increase. And as they do, things start to get wackier and wackier. If you probably haven't, as you probably have noticed already, out there on the world stage, things are starting to get a little wacky. And so I'm just here to kind of bring everyone back to the neutral point and to not get too polarized by everything and not be in a state of fear, but try to be in a state of peace and gracefully kind of go through these crazy times, um, so that we can tell our great 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 grandparents or whatever, our great children, like, I was there. But I went through it smoothly. So, yes. So, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but so my name is Jason. I'm a channeler, and let's begin. A daily dose of hope has three parts: a bit of a talk, and then a channeling, and then a pocket of peace, which is a guided meditation. So, before I begin, I'd like to check to make sure that this is working over at the other place. And oh, let's see, Michael, you're on. That means it's working. Okay, good. All right. So I have to check. Okay. Um, yes. So yesterday was my birthday, and thanks for all the wonderful birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. That was very nice of all of you. Uh, and I was feeling quite under the weather yesterday. And so Michael, you asked, "Hey, Jason, how you feeling?" I'm feeling a lot better. I'm back. I'm back. I don't know what was going on. Well, I do. um, it was, I think we're all going through some upgrades, and upgrades can look different than you think they might. I'm kind of curious to see what this upgrade, the effects of this new upgrade are going to be, but we'll see. So hey, TT Tracy, thanks. It's all good there. Good. All right. We're ready to go. So let's see what I wanted to say. First of all, my channeling teacher, the woman who taught me how to channel, she did a video on the Michael Scala show. I think that's what it's called. I have to make sure that. And Sala, sorry, Michael Sala show. And I'll put the link below. It's a really cool interview with her. Um, she's pretty amazing. I'm very amazing. And what else? I wanted to talk a little bit about, oh, hey, Patty. I wanted to talk a little bit about, I was asking my guides about all the stuff all the chatter that I've been hearing about things that are coming down the line. And what they had told me about the chatter, they said that the more chatter you hear, the smaller the event becomes. Um, so that the more chatter you hear, that means that the way some people are making this into a huge event, but the more it's talked about, the smaller it has to get. So it might even just be a blip on the screen. Like most people won't even notice it, kind of thing. So I thought that was interesting. Um, and TTT Tracy say Michael Sal is on Rumble too. Yes, he's on Rumble as well. Rumble and YouTube, and he's got his own site. And I just subscribed to his YouTube site, and it's just, wow, he's got a lot of very interesting guests. I found a new favorite YouTube channel. So, so that's what they're talking about that blip on everything. That the more something is talked about, the more light we shine onto everything, the more light we shine onto all these stories, then the shadows disappear, and then it unravels. The narrative that was trying to be created in the darkness is just kind of unraveled because we're like, oh, we see it, it's over there. Oh, what are you trying to do over there? Oh, interesting. Oh, that's, and then they're like, man, we got to figure out a new story now. What do we do? So that's what my guides had told me today. They also told me that there's nothing to worry about. Wherever you are in the world, you're there for a very, very specific reason. And you're there because you chose this place and your guides chose this place. So you're where you need to be. And so whatever is coming down the line, understand that you can go through it gracefully. that that it's all about your perspective. And so this is what they're talking about. It's all about your perspective. Just like these 3 years of craziness, it's all about your perspective. Like, for example, for me, I never really went into fear during the 3 years of craziness, but I saw a lot of people going into fear. And it was a very surreal experience for me because I was just kind of like wandering around, like, oh, I can take a lot of walks now. The train's not so crowded anymore, you know. But but just watching around me is just like, oh my goodness, what's going on? Why is everyone, we don't have to believe all that stuff, you know? But so similarly, you can go through all of these things gracefully. You can just go through it and understand, all these things are going on. That's very interesting, But I'm not, I'm a spiritual being having an experience in a body. So in a sense, I'm not really a part of all of these things. That's the word, right? In the world, but not of the world. Yeah. Which is what we are. We're not of this world, but we're experiencing this world, but we're not, that's not who we are. We're really like these amazing beings of light that have just kind of like gotten real small and gotten to these bodies to have these experiences. So basically, don't worry. Don't worry about a thing. Everything's going to be all right. And so another thing, there was one other thing, or two other things I wanted to talk about, but there's one I completely forgot. So I don't know. I guess I wasn't supposed to talk about that. So I wanted to talk about, so when I channel sometimes, and also wherever I am, I get like little packets of information, and I feel them on my crown chakra. And depending on where I feel them, sometimes I feel in the back of the head, the top of the head. And also when I'm picking up on emotions, I can feel the emotions in different parts of my head. Like sometimes it's kind of like a painful, like, ooh, someone's shooting out some anger somewhere here, or these kind of things. And so when I'm riding on the train, I often feel it. And I sometimes get a little bit upset, like, and I look around, I try to see like, all right, who's shooting this wave at me? And then like I find someone that kind of looks away and it's like, you're shooting that. And but they don't know what I'm doing. They're just projecting out thought forms, and they have no idea that other people might be able to pick them up. So I try not to get upset about it because they don't know what they're doing. But sometimes if you're really tired, it can be really like, oh man, come on. But what I've realized recently, what I do is I look into it. I look into, so what exactly are they projecting out? And then so I was doing that on the train today, and it's just like, oh my goodness, people are projecting out some pretty wild stuff. It's just like, there's a lot going on in people's minds that they're not really talking about. And if everyone if it all kind of came out what they were thinking about, just it would be, whew, it's like, yeah, that was pretty intense. Not as bad as I thought it would be. I thought, it wasn't as much like, but it was, it was like R-rated or X-rated. I don't know, but it was, yeah, it's just like, oh my goodness. But yeah, and that's going to start when we all start becoming more and more online. We're going to have to really like, be aware that everything that we think is going to be out there. I mean, it is already, but we're going to start being able to see it. And so it's a good chance to start really working with all that stuff. Anywho, so that was interesting to watch. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is that in the town that I live in, the city that I live in here in Japan, there's a veil over it. And when I go to the other cities in Japan, Mike Lee say, ha ha ha, oh no. Yeah, it's like, oh no. I usually try not to look at it, but I figure if I'm feeling it, it's not, because it's kind of like, of course I don't just look into what's going on in other, people's world or whatever, unless they ask me. But if I feel this projection, it's like they're projecting it. I'm feeling it. So I might as well just like, okay, if I'm feeling this pain, I might as well just look into it. So yeah. I don't, yeah. It's just if I feel it and it's kind of like, I guess, projected onto me, then I have to kind of, look into it. And then what the wonderful part about that is I don't know if it's wonderful or not, but I can help to transmute it so that energy is coming at a certain level, a certain like kind of dimension, frequency, but I can kind of like bring it up to a different frequency because it's coming at this level, but what it wants is love. what it's looking for is love, but it's like searching in the ways that won't bring love, I guess. I don't know how to explain that, but if you kind of like within that, that discussion, I'm kind of like discussing with this projection, and I'm kind of like showing the projection like there's another way. And but anyway, this is kind of experiments that I'm trying out. Um, and but yeah, there's a veil over everything here. And it's very interesting, this veil in this city that I live in, because when I go to other cities, other big cities in Japan, it's open. There isn't much of a veil there. It's just like, oh, people are just, yay, hey, hey, yeah, wonderful. But here in this city, there's a veil. And I feel it whenever I take the bullet train and I go to another place and then I kind of come back, I can just feel this kind of like, the energy gets kind of lower, and then the people's eyes start to look like kind of like they're not there, and kind of dead look, kind of zombie look, but when you go to the other city, everyone's like, hey, their eyes they're alive and they're sparkling. And so there's a veil here. So that's why I'm here. That's one of the reasons I'm here, is to help with that. And that veil was placed there on purpose. I've been just talking with my guides a lot about this veil. There's a lot of stuff that's hidden here. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. And so it's a bit of a headquarters in that sense for everything. And but it's a hidden headquarters, which is interesting. No one would expect it to be where it is. That's how it works. It's kind of like the uh, what is it called, Dr. No, or someone in some 007 movie. It's just like, no one would expect him to be on that small island in the middle of nowhere. Now I will take over the world. And so, but what they do is so there is this, I don't know how it works. I've never, I don't know. I wouldn't want to do it, but there is a way of making a veil over something so that people will not really look at it. Like, so my town is it's like a flyover town. It's like a town that, like, if someone's coming to tour, like a big music figure is coming to tour, they won't come to my city. They're going to like skip it. It's one of those kind of places. And that's because it's veiled, because it's hidden. There's a veil over it, so people don't see it, and a veil of forgetfulness as well. So people will say, "Oh, I wonder. Oh, I don't know what I was thinking about." Sorry, the local what is it, motorcycle club of two. uh, Anyway, so yeah, so it's a veiled place, and I thought that's very interesting, because I know there are some other veiled places in the States as well. Like the place that I came from, there's a veil over it as well. So it's very interesting. Um, TTT Tracy, you say Pinky and the Japanese brain. I don't get the reference, but I'm not sure. I have to research it. I'm not sure if is it a 007 reference, maybe. Sorry, I don't get that. But yeah, so it's very interesting that there's a veil here, and that's part of why I'm here. As we're all where we are for very specific reasons, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to work with that. And yeah, and I can't wait for the veil to be lifted, and how amazing that would be to see all these people with these kind of dead eyes, like just alive again and sparkling, and yes, we're alive. Sometimes places are veiled because the energy there is so strong. Like, in a sense, like this whole country is veiled. Ooh, I'm getting some rapping noises. I think I'm talking about stuff I shouldn't talk about. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that then. Okay. TTT Ratio is a cartoon with Brain trying to take over the world. Okay, I think I've seen that. Something in the Cartoon Network. I think that was okay. I think I've seen it. Yes, taking over the world. I always think it's funny that the representations of the people that want to take over the world in cartoons and also in 007, we think of them as so silly. Like, who's like that? There's no one out there like that. And that's exactly what they want you to think. I think a lot of them are probably like based on extreme, like they're not even making it up. It's just, they just saw someone and they're, oh, you're going to be in my movie. So anyway, okay. So I think I'm kind of I should, okay. Back on path. Back on. So yeah, all I wanted to say is, yeah, check out that Michael Sala show. I'll put the link below. She's on it. She's amazing. She's a great teacher. She's the one that taught me to channel. And she's amazing. Anyway, if you're interested. And yeah, so that's all I wanted to talk about. And I wanted to maybe ask a little bit more about the veil, if they could give us any more information about the veil and why places are veiled and what it entails. And yeah, yeah, it's kind of like that Men in Black thing where they do that. Is it vaporizer or something where they clear your memory? It's kind of like one of those things where you kind of see something, but then after a few seconds, you don't remember anything about it. I think that's the kind of idea. But so, and there was a really great question that I wanted to ask them, but I completely forgot it, Darn it. All right, but here we go. So that's what I'm going to ask. The veil. Okay, let's ask about the pain on the head or wherever you guys feel. If you get psychic feelings, wherever you feel them, what does that mean? And yeah, and the veil. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Greetings. We are that one that you know of as Yeshua, and we're here. We're very happy to be here with all of you in this wonderful time on your planet, this time of peace, this time of wonderment. This is a beautiful, beautiful time to be on your planet because this is a time when the veils are being lifted. And as the veils are being lifted, everything is revealed to you. All of the things that you couldn't quite understand, the things that didn't make sense, the things that made you just stop looking are going to be revealed. And it's wonderful because this is the great revealing. And as many of you are so curious and so interested and in wonder about what it is and how this world actually works, you have sensed how there is a lot of inauthenticity in your science, in your religion, and also in your medicine. There is a lot of inauthenticity in your history as well. And you can sense it because you are discerning beings. You can sense that there's something missing, and that is that all there is what you might ask. And no, 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 there is so much more to your world. There's so much more to your world. And what we would say is that the veils that are placed over everything are starting to lift. Now, the veil that is placed over this being's town, and yes, the country itself, is a very interesting veil, and it has many different purposes related to this ascension process. There is a lot of information in this country. This is what you might think of as an encyclopedia of lost civilizations kept here. Under a veil, so that when the time comes, the veil will be lifted. It is time sensitive, is what we would say. And once that time comes, then the veil will be lifted, and then that information will be ready. But the time is a time of frequency, because frequency is also related to time. So once enough of you on this planet raise to a higher frequency, then that information will be unlocked and the veil will be lifted. That is what veil is doing. It is protecting information that needs to be protected until that time that you are ready to see it and understand it. And this is part of the great awakening, the great understanding. And this is information that you will need as you progress up in the frequencies. This is information that was seeded from previous civilizations that was protected, and that veil was set up by those previous civilizations. Now, the veil that is on this being's town is a very interesting veil as well. It is a double or triple veil, you might say. Now, the veil over the country is one of, yes, of forgetfulness, but the veil on this side is a very intense veil. It's one of the most extreme veils in the world. There are a few other places, and we would say, interestingly, that the place where this being is from originally also has one of these extremely strong veils. And that is why he has come. One of the reasons he has come to this place, and also why he has come to this planet, is he is studying this concept of veils, of how they are created and what they mean, and also when they are unveiled, how things work. So, in a sense, that is one of his research areas as a star seed, and he will bring this information back to his star family, and also it will help him as a human when he goes out and starts to help to guide other races that are going through a similar sort of process that all of you are going through. But that is way down the line, of course. That is after this process is finished and all of you have gone and graduated to where you needed to go. But for the time being, what he is doing here is trying to understand what this veil does. And so he is on the inside of the veil. And so he can see how it affects everyone. But the veil doesn't really affect him because he understands it. So that is one of the aspects of the veil. If you know the veil is there, then the veil can't affect you. Knowledge is power. It always is power. So it is just an understanding. And that is one of the secrets to unveiling a veil, is that if enough people are aware of it. But that is something that is related to your frequency. If your frequency is high enough, you will be able to see and understand that it is there, and it will not affect you because you are at a different frequency. And that is the aspect of this raising of frequencies. When you vibrate at a higher frequency, things that are of a lower frequency will not even be visible to you in that sense. So that is what we would say. And to answer the question about psychic feelings on your body. So, for example, this being feels things on his head, and he does not speak about it, but often when he is channeling, he will start to feel it on his head as well. And what we would say to all of you is that these are so the physical connection to these connections, to the psychic connection, is a wonderful thing, and it is something for all of you to explore. There is a reason that you are feeling these things. This is not by chance. This was placed there to wake you up. And so the pain or the feelings, the sensations that he feels on the top of his head or the side of his head are there to wake him up. It's his guides are trying to shake him up, to look deeper, look deeper, look deeper into these feelings and into these sensations. So understand that your guides will use pain at times to wake you up and to give you a message. Your guides have many different things at their disposal, and if you are not listening to the message, then they will use things like pain, or they might use something like sickness or a cold or a virus. Anything that they can use to get your attention. If you are too stuck within this world, if you are too stuck in the world, they will use these sorts of things to shift you out of it, to give you a chance to take a break. So when you do get sick, you have to take off from your normal everyday activities, off from all of the stresses in your life, and you get to take a mini vacation. And in that mini vacation, you're able to access information that usually you're not able to access, and that is what that is there for. All right, interesting. And as I was channeling, I remembered the question that I had. Let's see. And before, let me check out the comments. So TTT Tracy, you say, my nose itches when the team wants me to listen. Me too. Every time I start a channeling session, especially like the monthly membership things, my nose starts to itch like crazy. And I think, I kind of feel like, why is, it doesn't look good on, what's this guy doing? But, and DC has a concrete blanket over it. Interesting. Yeah, I've only been to DC like once or twice. But I did feel that. I did feel that there was something. It's a kind of forgetful feeling, like you're there, but you just feel like you're kind of floating somehow. And then when you go outside of DC, right outside, it's just like, wow, very different. TTT Tracy said, I think the huge obelisks are bad poking into the earth. Yeah, well, that's an interesting thing about, though, and this is something I think that my teacher would talk about a lot, which is really cool, is that all of these things, for example, these giant obelisks and these beautiful old ancient buildings that are built all around in Washington, um, they are repurposed. They have a lot of power, and they've been repurposed. So what the it's kind of a simplistic thing, but that's what they do. They just flip everything upside down. So the obelisks have a lot of power, but then they've been flipped. So the meaning is upside down. But any civilization that's able to build those things is probably not working in the dark. Oh, I'm getting some rapping sounds. They were like, don't go there. All right, so I'm not going to go there. But my question that I wanted to ask was, so Dolores Cannon, who, I'm sure all of you know, she's amazing. If you don't know, go check her out. She's so amazing. She's the one that invented the uh, quantum healing, um, quantum healing technique, I guess, a way of hypnotizing. It's a hypnotism. It's a way of hypnotizing someone and then going into their past lives and into their spirit guides and things like that. Just she's an amazing woman, really down to earth. And she talked about what it was it? She was talking about I think they're called now I'm sorry with my terms, but they were the shadow people, or they were, I can't remember the word for it, but it just that they are background people. Um, Michael, you say, love Dolores. Yeah, she's so cool. She's like someone's grandmother. But she's talking about the craziest thing you could imagine, craziest things. Um, but that's it, the background people, that in your life, most of the people that you see are not really there. They're just there to create, like, kind of like make the scene look more realistic, just like they use extras in a movie. They're just walking around to make it look like it's realistic. And that was what she had said. And then I had heard someone saying that it was actually not just that, but that people, all of us are here, but we serve as background people in other people's lives. So we're there. I'm like just like the background actor in someone else's life, but I'm not a shadow person. I'm real. Well, as much as I know. Um, and TTT Tracy, we call them NPCs. Yeah, like the same, like non-playing characters in a game, right? They're just kind of like hovering around. And so I just wanted to ask about that again, because I was on the train and I was kind of asking my guys, like, how many people here are real? And I got a whole bunch of different answers. And but I think in the end there were 3 or 4 people that were really, really there. But I don't know. I don't get a feeling for it. I'm not sure. So let's see. And TTT Tracer, yeah, quantum healing hypnosis technique. That was the technique that Dolores Cannon invented. And Patty, you say me too. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so I'm gonna ask about that and see. Let's ask. Ask about the background people or the NPCs. Is there really such a thing as an NPC or background person, or are they just other people, just playing their roles? So they're just in your life, but you're not really in your life. So, yeah, let's just ask. Here you go. Hmm. Greetings. We are Yeshua again, and we would like to address this question. This is a very interesting question, and it relates a lot to your perspective as well as your frequency. As we had said, that as your frequency rises, things that are of a lower frequency will have not as much effect on you. And that is, frequency is perspective. So depending on how you are looking and how you are feeling a situation, it will affect how you feel and how the situation ends as well. Because this is a feeling universe in addition to an experiential universe. So you are interacting with all of these things that are happening. You are not just a witness, but you are a part of it as well. And so that is the key to this information as well. The idea that there are non-playing characters or that there are background people is a very interesting idea. And what we would say is that it is true from a certain perspective. So if you are looking from a purely third dimensional perspective, then yes, you could say that that is probable. But if you are looking from a multidimensional perspective, then you would notice and you would understand that there are many beings that are playing these roles because they want to experience, but they want to experience things in the background. So, in a sense, it is sort of like an extra, but what it is that there are many beings that would like to have an experience on this planet, but they were not chosen for whatever reason, and but they would still like to be able to witness. And so what it is kind of like a viewing, we would say. So what these NPCs will end up being, not all of them, but some of them will be a place. For example, when you go to a scenic spot, there will be these devices that you put money in, and they will allow you to see the scenic spot from a clear view, binoculars. And these binoculars, it would be very similar to what these NPCs are. Their movements are programmed. What they do, what they can do, what they can't do, it's programmed. There is not much free will within that. But beings are allowed to come into that being to experience a simulacrum of what it is like to be on the earth at this moment. Well, they can't get all of the emotions because they are not connected with the human body in that sense. It is only a connection with the body, though. They can sense the feelings, the hot, the cold, the sad, the happy that is around them, but they are not able to interact in that way. And so, in that sense, yes, that is true. Now, that is not all of them. So, in addition to that, as we've said, you are living in a multidimensional universe. In addition to that, there are also beings that are just like you. They are alive and they're living and they are playing a bit role in your life, but in their life, they're playing the main role. And that is also the case as well. So the answer is quite complicated because you are quite complicated in, well, looking from your third dimension, you're quite complicated because you are living in many, many different dimensions all at once. And that is our answer. Oh, that's pretty cool. Michael, you say, double channeling. Woohoo! Wow, that's a very interesting answer. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. That's pretty cool that other beings are able to get a view. Yeah. I'm just having this image of like, this non-playing character, and then you kind of like look really close into their eyes, and then the being in there's like, oh my God, why are they looking so close? Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to go into a pocket of peace. And with this pocket of peace, we're going to, what are we going to do today? Let's do a pocket of peace. For us, yeah, just similar to yesterday, it's for us to move gracefully through everything that's coming, and for us to understand that we are where we need to be in the most perfect place imaginable. We chose this place. We're here. I'm here in the middle of Japan. Someplace I didn't even, imagine coming here. Just all of a sudden, just like, oh, here I am. Oh, so we're just placed where we need to be, and everything just works that way. So you are where you need to be at this moment, and it's beautiful. And I'm so happy that you are. You're there doing your amazing work. So let's do that. So okay, so I'd like you to take a nice deep breath, hold it in for a few seconds, and then let it out. All right, nice. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my my eyeball, my third eyeball, and it's going to be just a steady in the background, just to focus our attention. And I'd like all of you to imagine that you're surrounded by the mist of unconditional love. It just surrounds you, caresses you. And when it's around you, you just feel like you're home. You feel like, yeah, I'm loved. I'm perfect, exactly as I am. This love loves you exactly as you are. Everything, everything that you are, it just loves it because it can see you. It loves you unconditionally. There's nothing that you have to say or do to get this love. There's nowhere that you have to go. There's nothing that you have to regret or worry about. This love is not related to money or possessions or anything. It's just about you, exactly as you are. You're perfect. And now I just like to imagine this energy just extending it out throughout your whole room. Your whole room is just covered in love. Woo! And all of those things in your room, all those inanimate objects, you made them all. Now they're all covered with love and they're shining and sparkling. And then just expand this energy out into your town, into your county, into your state, and then out into the whole country, and then into the world. This feeling of unconditional love is very catchy. It just spreads quicker than any virus could ever spread. It spreads at the speed of love. Love is the fastest speed in the universe. So now, in an instant, the whole world is covered by love. Oh, you can feel that. Yeah. All right. The whole world is covered by love. And everyone's just feeling their unconditional love. Like everything is perfect. Yeah. And everyone's just stopping what they're doing and saying, yes, yes, that's it. This is what I've been searching for. That's it. It's just here. Love. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to be anything. I just have to be me. Just who I am. I am loved. I am perfect. And then we're going to add another angle to this, another ingredient, and that is that we are where we need to be. Where you are is perfect. You are in the most perfect place imaginable. And that place, from that place, you are interacting with that place. You're bringing your love. You're bringing your light to that place. You're there. That's your mission. You are there. You are there. You're exactly where you need to be. Right now, you've got all the skills you need. Wow, how powerful you are. Look at that. Whew. Look at that. You're shining. Woo. Ooh. Yeah, and then now just see yourself moving gracefully through these times, understanding that I'm here for this reason. I chose to be here. I was chosen. I'm a chosen one to be on this planet. All of you are chosen here. Yeah, and just realize that. Realize how amazing you are, how powerful you are, that you have this amazing mission. And just see yourself moving gracefully through it. Just your head held high, just walking gracefully. Think of yourself as like a Marvel superhero, walking, strutting your way through this transition time, just saying, yeah, I got this. I got this thing. Yeah. All right. Now this pocket of peace is for all of you. You can use this whenever you need it. Put it in your pocket. Take it out wherever you are. Take it out in a crowded train, in a traffic jam, or at a stressful situation at work or at home. Just take out this pocket of peace and you'll see the miracles it can work. It'll change everything because it'll change the story that you're seeing into a story of love. Ooh. All right. Oh, that was very intense. So, hey, Bruce. All right. Haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're okay. Hope you're good. So Patty and TT Tracy and Michael and Bruce, thanks for joining in today. And everyone else, thank you for joining in as well. I hope you're hopeful. Today's a long one. Wow, my goodness. I'm just like a blabbermouth. So yeah, I hope you guys are all hopeful, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ciao. Yeah. Thanks for the hope. take naps. TTT Tracy say, yes, I will. Thank you.